Hi, I'm Melissa from Northlight Express, here to walk you through how using an ash vac can be a great tool to clean up a fireplace, but there's a few tips and tricks that you need to use in order to properly use an ash vacuum safely to make it the most effective without damaging your product. I've got here with me today the Hearth Ash Vac. This is a great tool, it's very powerful, it also features a HEPA filter. But there's some things that you can't, just because it's an ash vacuum designed for sucking up fireplace ash, there's a few things you cannot do. Firstly, you can't suck up hot ashes. When you do this, when you use your fireplace ash vac, you're going to want to make sure that you can keep your hand above the ashes that you're trying to remove for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can do that, then the ashes are going to be cool enough that they're not going to damage your filter. Now, the ash vacs do have a metal guard around the filters, which is going to help protect that paper filter, but it's still in your best interest to make sure that you're not sucking up hot ashes, because it is a danger with your fireplace ash vac. It's not designed for that. It can damage the equipment. It's just not good practice. Another thing, if you notice, take a look closely inside this firebox. There's a lot, this firebox has been left from the last time it was used, so there's a lot of fine ash debris, and then there's also a lot of chunks from just log debris that it's more of a coal, it's chunky stuff. Now, if you're using your ash vac, you're going to want to make sure that you separate out the big chunks from the fine ash. That's going to prevent any types of clog, just making the cleaning process much easier. You can do this easily with a sifting tool to separate out your ashes and separate them into 2 piles, and then remove the larger chunks with a shovel and an ash bucket and remove those outside if they're hot. Again, remember to make sure you're storing them safely and removing them so they're not going to catch fire wherever you store your ashes. But for the purpose of the ash vacuum, you're going to want to make sure that you're sifting out those large pieces and that they're cool too. They're warm ashes, not hot ashes that have been straight out of the fire. If you can see anything glowing, it's definitely too hot. And remember the hand rule: 1, 2, 3, 4, closely over the ashes. If you can do that, they're going to be cool enough for you to suck up with your ash vac. So then the next key is going to be to make sure that you're getting out the big chunks and sorting those separately so that you only are left with the fine ash to suck up with your ash vacuum. The best way to get the large ash separated from the fine ash is going to be to push all of it to one side. And then, like I said, sift through it so you're getting all the big stuff kind of out and into a pile, and dump those to the side. If it's all fine ash, go ahead and pour that to the other side where you can suck it up. But big pieces, like look, I've got pieces in here like this, they're not going to suck up into the ash vacuum, and if you tried, you're going to be frustrated because they're going to clog up the tip and it's just going to elongate the process of cleaning out your fireplace. And again, this is done much easier if you're using a sifting tool, because much like a kitty litter scoop, it's going to let those fine particles fall through and maintain the bigger chunks up in the scoop so you can easily set them aside. Alright, I've got a nice pile here of separated fine ash, a couple chunks there. So the next process is going to be to use your ash vac. I've got the Hearth Ash Vac here with the crevice tool on it. I like the crevice tool because in fireboxes there's often mortar joints from where the fire bricks come together, and that's a perfect spot for that fine ash to fall into and just collect. If you were using a regular broom and shovel, it wasn't going to ever get that out of there, or maybe if you spent a lot of time doing it, you could get it out. But an ash vacuum, just like using a regular vacuum in your home, is definitely going to be the fastest and easiest method. And the nice thing about ash vacuums too, they're going to keep it virtually dust-free, where I'm sure if you've played around with fireplace tools and scooping ash out of your fireplace, you've experienced that plume of smoke that just encompasses the room and makes you cough, it gets your mouth dry, you taste it. An ash vac's going to help eliminate all that. So now that I've got my fireplace separated here into 2 piles, it's time to suck it up. Now, I've got a large pile of fine ash here, so you don't have to use your crevice tool right off the bat. So what I'm actually going to do for this part is remove the crevice tool and use just the larger opening of it, because like I said, I've got a large amount of fine ash in here, and that's just going to help you speed up the process for me to get it sucked up a little bit faster. So if you're looking for a dust-free way to clean out your fireplace, definitely consider an ash vacuum. But do remember, when you're using your ash vacuum, they're not designed to be used with hot coals. Remember the key of using your hand, and if you can hold it over the fireplace ashes for a count of 4, they're most likely going to be cool enough to suck up with your ash vacuum. But if you ever see anything glowing, they're definitely too warm to be sucked up. Another tip to help you clean out your fireplace easily with your ash vacuum is to separate your large chunks from your fine ash. That's just going to make the process faster for you as well as easier, and have you spend a lot less time declogging the hose of your ash vacuum. I hope you found this information helpful. It's more great information from NorthlineExpress.com, home of the Buy and Try Satisfaction Guarantee. And don't forget, we're also your one-stop shop for all of your fireplace cleaning needs.